Typical Nanatsu no Taizai. Never answering a questions, and yet so much was answered. Oh, when will we get all the final answers? I guess until we stop reading or we keep on reading till the Ten Commandments are truth. Because even though I'm saying that so many questions were left unanswered, still many was actually answered in this arc too. But we got just as many questions as we got answers, as we dwell deeper into the past of Meliodas. And no, to everybody's who thought that that child Elizabeth was Meliodas' child, it wasn't, because the first thing Meliodas says as soon as Sarataras want to approach them is, "Don't lay your hands on my woman." Quite a thing to say to a woman who is actually a baby, but then again, she was a reincarnation. So I guess that it makes sense. One other reason why the King Bharata also ended up in this place was because of his vision. He saw something that he would get a third child, or adopt a third daughter. And the queen, which we actually see in the flashback, seems to look very much like the oldest sister, as I would become very smitten with that girl, which means actually, yes, Elizabeth has met her. She just doesn't remember her. But Meliodas decided to do that under one condition that he gets hired as a holy knight. Of course, Sarataras, still believing him to be a child, says that's impossible, but Meliodas defeats him so badly that Hawk wonders if he wet himself. Well, he may admit he did. And so Meliodas began his long service in Leones by watching over Elizabeth. Now, that is a strong love, but still, why? Just what is it about Elizabeth that could be this eternally love? And the fact that even though as a child Elizabeth was very attached to Meliodas, in a way that's almost like movable love. It's during also a bit later that Barda got another vision, something about the seven deadly sins will become the kingdom of the lioness guardians. There's something about that makes me a bit confused. The way they say it seems like the seven deadly sins are already there, but they haven't been formed yet. So I thought they were formed into a group under that name, but now it doesn't seem that way. Also, it turns out that that Merlin was not a holy knight at that time. No, she was actually an old friend of Meliodas. And when I mean old friend, well, an old friend far longer than any of us have suspected. Because the way she actually has been told about Meliodas about the king's vision, and the fact that she has been finding candidates for the seven deadly sins. The reason for this seven deadly sins gathering in all was actually to find a troop that could defeat the Ten Commandments. And each from everyone's species were different. That was the true purpose of the seven deadly sins, not just to work to clear off their sins. No, their ultimate purpose was to destroy the Ten Commandments, should they ever have been revived. So yeah, in the end, it is the Ten Commandments that's gonna be destroyed by the seven deadly sins. But still, yes, who is now? The question is again, screw Meliodas. Who the hell is Merlin? Why doesn't she also age? In fact, she's not human. She can't be human. But and during that time we finally see the drinking scene, and it turns out that Meliodas actually got drunk by emptying an entire bar full of alcohol. And he actually told Sarataras during that time that he was 3,000 years old. But according to Sarataras, it is neither a fairy, a giant, nor a demon can live that long. But now let's think about it. Isn't King 1,000 years old? Or was he just 700 years old? I didn't count. But according to Zaratras, it is impossible for any of the other clan members to live that long, which means Meliodas is a special case. The reason for that special case? He's cursed. Yes, he somehow has a curse that does not allow him to die, neither of age nor actually being killed by something, or himself being killed. This finally answers a question. The question that everybody's asked. How is it that Meliodas, as a demon, has been able to live 3,000 years old and hasn't aged a bit? Because for what we have seen of his brother Estarosa has aged. So why has Meliodas? The answer is now clear. Because Meliodas is cursed. He was cursed some time ago, 3,000 years ago, when he was that form, and it stopped his aging, and it stopped him dying. Whatever that curse is, it's so powerful that nothing can kill him until something breaks that curse. So what is it? A commandment? It was revealed that Meliodas was the former leader of the Ten Commandments, so very well. Finally, it turns out that Meliodas made a promise to Elizabeth when she was a young child, which is almost directed to them as they see the memories of Meliodas, and that is that he will promise to get back to her no matter what. And then we finally see Meliodas, but he doesn't seem to be in his mind. No, he seems to have ended up in a place called Purgatory. Is this hell, or is that the demon one? A mysterious voice is calling out to Meliodas, saying, "We got nothing but time here, so let's take a nice and long chat, Meliodas." But undetermined, Meliodas says, "Not gonna happen." And so the chapter ends. Next week's chapter is called Danger Zone. Are we gonna see more of the Purgatory, or are we gonna get back to the Ten Commandments ravishing the land of Britannia? So yeah, as I said before, many answers were at least answered about why Meliodas is seemingly unaging, because he is cursed, and also the fact that the seven deadly sins were formed from a vision by Bharata with the purpose of defeating the commandments. Finally, it turns out that this reincarnated love is actually stronger than we thought. Way stronger. Still, it makes nothing sense to me why. And as I said before, other questions is just who is Merlin if she has known Meliodas for this long, even before she became a magic knight? And why is Meliodas in purgatory? If he said he does not die, then where is he? Too many questions. What do you think? Give me your thoughts if you have any.